years later.
And now the victim's former roommate is being charged with murder. Atlanta News First reporter Adam Murphy is live tonight outside the Fulton County DA's office in downtown Atlanta. So Adam, why did this arrest take place so long to make?
Well, because of the conditions that were involved in this particular case. Let me explain why. Investigators said that they actually found Nicole Alston's body that was in a burning bag on the side of the road back in 2007. It had been dismembered, and they were not able to identify until last year in 2024.
Welcome, you guys. Welcome back to Viral Crimes with Jocelyn, where no case will ever be forgotten. But before we begin, please like this live, share it with someone who watches true crime, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the chat where you are watching from, you guys. So tonight's case contains discussion of domestic violence, possible exploitation, murder, dismemberment, and burning of human remains. I will not show graphic crime scenes, photographs, but the facts themselves are disturbing. So please use discretion. Welcome to Viral Crimes with Jocelyn, where we uncover the facts, examine the evidence, and make sure no case is forgotten. So you guys, imagine leaving New York with someone you love because you believe the person that you are with and you agreed to start a new life with. You worked your plans out, you found a new place, and this person is the one that did this to you. So a body is then discovered burning along a rural road, but the victim's head, hands, and feet were gone. Police cannot identify her. Years. No one connects the remains to the woman who recently left New York. And while that woman's family is wondering, where is she? Investigators now say another person is living in her name, using her driver license, obtaining housing, buying vehicles, and collecting her benefits, you guys. Collecting her benefits. What is going on here? This is the case of 24-year-old Nicole Alston. Her former girlfriend, Angel Marie Thompson, now faces an 80-count indictment. This is ugly. Let me show you a picture of the young lady. Where is she? Well, here's a picture of both ladies. Okay, let me ask you guys this. Do they look alike to you? They don't look nothing alike to me. Maybe there's a better picture out there that shows them looking like twins, but I don't see it. So tonight we're going to discuss who Nicole was, how the woman became connected, why they came to Georgia, what Nicole reportedly told her mother shortly after her passing, what was discovered December 6, 27. It's 27 December. Just got to remember all this stuff. I have my little side notes, but in most I put it in my head. So how the case remained cold and how one family DNA connection finally gave an unidentified woman her name back. So Nicole's remains were found on December 6 in 2007, but investigators did not positively identify her until December of 2023. Go figure. With all the technology that we have, it took them decades to figure out who the remains belonged to. Thompson was later charged with murder, and a Fulton County grand jury returned an 80-count indictment in 2026. Let's go back here. Let me see what we got over here. Okay, we're going to watch this slowly, and we're going to go in and out. So before I tell you everything, answer this honestly, chat. How can someone disappear while government records continue showing the person is alive? How did someone 24, what was going on that she was getting benefits? What kind of benefits was she getting? But whatever they were, her friend, Angel, was using her benefits. maybe she was getting food stamps allegedly. I don't know. I'm just trying to think what kind of benefits someone would be getting at that age. We know it wasn't Social Security. So, okay, let's get into the video, you guys.
Some secrets are meant to stay buried. Some truths consumed by fire. But in the grim archives of state crime, even the most meticulously hidden horrors can, eventually, rise from the ashes.
Now, Nicole Alston, she was a 24-year-old, and she was 24 in 2020. I keep saying 20. I'm so used to saying 2027 or 2026, but 2007. Her last residence was in Georgia. She was from Manhattan. It's so many people around that time migrated to Georgia from New York. I was one of them in 2008. All my friends did. It was just the thing to do back then, which was, I don't know. Public reporting described Nicole as bubbly. She was trusting and someone with always an infectious smile on her face. Her mother said that Nicole was the life of the party and that everybody loved her. It's just so sad when you hear stories about someone so loved, but yet how did she go missing for so long? Because I know if that was my loved one, come hell to high water, we're going to figure this out. I want to see her. Why didn't no one lay eyes on her? Why wasn't this? I just don't understand this. So let us begin with Nicole, not with how she passed, but who was she before we get back into this video. So Nicole was a young Black woman from New York. She was only 24. Her mother, Sylvia Alston, described her as bubbly. She said Nicole had a smile that everybody loved, and she was always the life of the party. Her mother also said that Nicole was trusting. She reportedly struggled with dyslexia and depended on others for transportation. That matters because Nicole may have been more vulnerable to someone who presented her themselves to her as a protector, a provider, or someone that was going to take care of her and help her navigate through life. So I can understand why she may have had her guard down and her rose petal glasses on way too tight. So some later commentary had described Nicole as legally blind. She was raised by an adoptive mother, so she had her issues. This poor baby. Those details appeared in 2026 true crime discussion rather than in the indictment. That wasn't noted in court. Summaries available publicly noted it, but in court, it never came up. So a later true crime program described Nicole as having a serious visual impairment and said that she relied heavily on others to get around. I have not found those details in any public indictment itself again. So I'm going just with the sources, and they are limited, okay, when it comes to her disability and her vulnerability. So because of these alleged sources who stated that she had these disabilities, she was very vulnerable. But it does not make her responsible for what happened to her. So I think she was preyed upon. Just my thought, she was the perfect victim. Someone that did not have good intentions for her, knew exactly what she was doing and to whom she was doing it with. So being trusting is not consent to exploitation. Having a disability does not give another person ownership or the right to take someone's money, their identity, or their movement. Dependent on someone does not mean that person has the right to control you. So that's why you have to depend on the right person that loves you. So do you guys believe that Nicole understood Angel's legal problems before leaving New York? Did she know? She had to know. Was Nicole told they were simply just starting over together? Was it supposed to be a relationship? Who else knew that Nicole was leaving? Did her adoptive mother know? Did she try to talk her out of it, knowing that she had all these disabilities going on with her? Did anyone have the exact address? Why didn't nobody just pull up? Because I would have been on the first thing smoking, a red eye, whatever. I'm going to be there, whatever it takes. So, was people caring for her from a distance, but not really getting to where she was at, coming to Georgia, raising a stink, going down to the police station, calling Crump. What's his name? Benjamin Crump. Calling him something. So, and who was Angel Marie Thompson? Let's get into this lady. So, Angel Marie Thompson was Nicole's girlfriend or romantic partner. Some early law enforcement language called her Nicole's friend, and some new reports called the woman roommates. So allegedly, they were lovers. Later, prosecutors and court reporters described them as girlfriend or former girlfriends. So Angel Marie Thompson is the woman prosecutors now accuse of killing Nicole. The two women reportedly met in New York City. They decided to move their life to Georgia. Public reporting does not explain exactly where they met, who introduced them, how long they had been dating before they even moved. And that's very, very important. How long were they dating before Nicole began to trust Angel? So anyone online claiming to know the exact first meeting should provide a verified source. I need to see it. This is not no TikTok news over here. We need to see the facts, you guys, because that portion of the relationship has not been fully documented publicly. So what authorities have said is that Angel was she was wanted in New York, for theft and identity fraud related offenses. So fraud. So when she left with Nicole, she already had those charges in New York. So Angel was already known to move a little shady. This is one of the most important facts in this case. Nicole allegedly entered Georgia with someone who already had a history or at least active allegations against her, connected to theft, fraud. Come on now, you guys. So years later, that same person will be accused of using Nicole's identity, fraud, theft. Okay, let's get into this video a little bit.
In 2007, on a lonely road in Fulton County, Georgia, a discovery was made that would haunt investigators for nearly 2 decades. A burning bag. And inside, the dismembered remains of a young woman. Her hands, her feet, her very head, gone. A ghost, reduced to ash and bone, with no name, no voice, and no justice. Her name was Nicole Alston, just 24 years old. A vibrant life, tragically cut short. Nicole had left her home in New York, seeking a new beginning in Georgia, settling in Palmetto at the Genesis Gardens apartments. She wasn't alone. She lived with her girlfriend and roommate, Angel Thompson. Nicole was receiving crucial government benefits, Social Security, food stamps, Section 8 housing. These benefits were her lifeline, providing stability in her new life. But for some, a lifeline can become a leash. Nicole's mother would later describe her as a happy individual, someone who, despite her own struggles, always made things seem okay. A confidant for others. But she also harbored a chilling suspicion that Angel Thompson may have taken advantage of Nicole's vulnerabilities, her dyslexia, her reliance on others for transportation.
I definitely agree with Mom. I definitely believe that this woman preyed on this poor child. She's a child in my eyes. So, you guys, I'm just going to put this out here. Although she left New York and she had warrants and proof, Thompson does not prove that she did this crime, but she was charged for it. So, you know, during this time of the case, you know, we're still in 2007, 2008. You know, she was innocent. She was just recently was found guilty. So I'm talking in the time of this video, you know, she was innocent and living her best life. You know, so if Nicole said, I'm done and I'm going home, what would going back to New York have meant for a person allegedly wanted there? Would she have went back home? No, that's why she left, allegedly. It had to be. She was running because she didn't clear up those cases when she got to Georgia. She didn't go back to New York and deal with them. She left and started a new life, although she had these charges on her in New York.
A relationship, built on what seemed like shared dreams, was about to descend into a nightmare. A nightmare that would begin with a desire for freedom and end in a horrifying act of calculated cruelty.
Okay, so yes, the mystery did start in 2007. Okay. So the two women left New York in 2007. They moved to Atlanta. Court reporting say they rented an apartment in Palmetto. It's in South Fulton County. This is the apartment. I do have a picture of the apartment that they had rented together. Hold on, you guys. A lot of moving parts with this story. So this is the apartment complex. This is in South Fulton County in Georgia. Another view of the apartment complex, which, well, I can't even say, you know, a lot of times people live in these apartment complexes and everybody becomes familiar with each other. I guess that's not always the case. These people they were new. So maybe, you know, the tenants in the apartment building was not familiar with these two. So, because of those facts, I can understand why no one actually noticed that she was missing. They didn't notice. Nobody knew that this woman was missing.
The details of Nicole Alston's final moments are still being pieced together, but the horror of what happened next is undeniable. Her body, dismembered, placed in a bag, and set ablaze on the side of a road in Troup County. A desperate attempt to erase her, to erase the crime, to erase the very identity of a human being. For years, her remains lay unidentified. A Jane Doe, a nameless victim in the annals of Georgia's unsolved crimes. Investigators worked tirelessly, but without a name, without a face, the case grew colder with each passing year. The silence was deafening. The injustice, palpable.
Well, this is what we're getting. Okay, this is what I was able to find and compile together. So hold on. Let me blow this up so I can see it. You know, I gotta put my glasses back on because your girl can only see. Can't. Okay, there we go. So this is what we know. Nicole was murdered in that Palmetto apartment. her body was dismembered in that apartment. Her remains were placed inside of bags, and the bags were transported away from the apartment. Okay. Those remains were later dumped along a rural road in Fulton County, Georgia. A fire is then used in what appears to have been an effort to destroy her remains. But anybody with a little bit of sense know that you cannot get rid of a body like that. This is not a cremation. You just can't. Whatever. Let me move on from that. The state still has to prove who performed each act. An indictment is not proof that she did it, but this is just the geographical framework prosecutors appear to be presenting. And that was actually noted on WSB TV Channel 2 in Atlanta. But what is not yet public? Okay. The available reporting did not discuss who signed the original lease to this apartment. Because I'm just thinking because Angel didn't have because Angel had those warrants and those criminal charges in New York. Did the systems cross in Georgia? Because she shouldn't have been able to rent an apartment. She should not have been able to rent an apartment. What did the neighbors hear, you guys? Did they hear anything? Now, this is doesn't look like it's an older apartment complex. It looks like it's fairly new. Let's put it up again. Where is it at? Let's put this up one more time. This is the apartment complex. Looks fairly new. Were there surveillance cameras? You know, this is not like this was 1990. This was 2007. And did they go into the vehicle? Did they look and see, was there evidence in the vehicle? I'm talking about at the time of this happening, because like I said, this went unsolved. This is a cold case that went unsolved from 2007 until, I believe, 2023. We're going to check that out. So if she was dismembered inside that apartment, the crime took place in that apartment, did they not go in there and do a forensic panel inside of there? Did they not? Did they not take the car? Did they not interview the neighbors? So what was the exact date? We don't know nothing. We really don't. So could one person complete every stage of a crime like that alone? Or do you believe someone else was involved? That's a lot to do for one person. But then again, we don't know along what time period did this all take. Was it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? Did anybody smell anything? You know, so there's so many questions that, as you know, if you watch my lives, I can go down a rabbit hole for days. So Nicole's family reportedly last heard from her around Thanksgiving 2007. At the 2025 news conference, prosecutors said that Nicole had spoken to her mother approximately 10 days before her passing and said that the relationship had become abusive. This is what she's telling her mother, and that she wanted to return home. If that was my child, I would have been there. Let me tell you something. Come to hell to high water, I would have been there that day. That day. Call me and tell me that somebody's abusing you and I'm 980 miles away. Oh, no, I'm getting there. So according to prosecutors, Nicole contacted her mother shortly before her passing. During the communication, Nicole repeatedly said that Angel had become abusive and that she wanted to return to New York. Think about the importance of that statement. It potentially shows Nicole was alive shortly before the discovery. It potentially also shows that she was planning to leave. It showed a serious conflict in the relationship. We also know that Angel had those charges in New York. Was she going to allow Nicole to make her go back home and then she has to face what she has to deal with in New York? All right. Okay, you guys, we're going to keep watching this. I want to see what this guy comes up with myself.
While Nicole Alston lay nameless, her alleged killer was living a life of chilling normalcy. A life built on a foundation of deceit and a terrifying psychological detachment. Because on the very night Nicole Alston's body was discovered, burning on that desolate road, detectives would later uncover a chilling detail about Angel Thompson. She was reportedly active on dating websites, looking for new people to talk to. As if nothing had happened. As if a life hadn't just been brutally extinguished.
Look at that.
And just a month later,
For rent,
with the
for
ashes
sale.
of her girlfriend's life still settling, Thompson was allegedly attempting to rent out the apartment they had shared. To sell their car. A rapid, cold-blooded erasure of any trace of Nicole Alston, and a terrifying
This
glimpse into
is
the mind of
insane,
someone
you
capable of
guys.
such profound detachment.
This is pure evil. This lady, she planned this from the beginning. This is just my theories, allegedly. She got the hell up out of New York to get away from those charges she was facing. It just is what it is. She didn't want to go back. This young lady told her mom the relationship is becoming abusive and I want to come home. I want to come home. And this demon, knowing that this woman was handicapped, she was legally blind, she had all of these issues. And this is the one that you decided to say, hey, I'm going to start my life over in Georgia with a woman that could not do much to help you. She planted all, you guys. She planted this. This was a well thought out plan.
For years, the case of the unidentified remains was a haunting whisper in the archives. But in early 2023, a new light was cast upon the darkness. The cold case was meticulously reviewed. And with the advancements in forensic science, a new path to justice emerged. DNA evidence, painstakingly preserved from the original crime scene, was sent to cutting-edge laboratories.
Wow.
These weren't just any labs, they were specialists in unraveling the genetic mysteries of unidentified remains. The results were then meticulously compared by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the GBI Crime Lab.
You guys, why this took so long? Why did this, we're talking 2007 to 2020. Why did this take so long? You know, at the end of the day, I believe this whole thing was just control. Nicole allegedly wanted to leave the relationship. She already had mentioned this to her mother. She wanted to go home. Thompson allegedly had outstanding warrants in New York. Nicole received SSI. She had food stamps. She had housing assistance. Nicole's name could allegedly be used to obtain documents, vehicles, and services. So she stole her identity because Angel could get nothing in her own name. She couldn't get nothing. And she knows if Nicole go back home, where's she going to live? What's going to become of her? She's not going back to New York to face the crime. So she did this.
And then, after 17 agonizing years, the ghost finally had a name. Nicole Alston. The young woman whose life was so cruelly stolen, whose identity was so brutally erased, was finally recognized. The first, crucial step towards justice had been taken.
Ugh. Take a look, you guys. Let's hold on. Let me blow that back up.
With Nicole's identity.
Do they look alike to you? Do you think they could have mistaken Angel for Nicole? I don't. The skin tone is completely off. But I will say this, I did find a possible exploitation reason behind this. So the district attorney alleged that Nicole had been sexually trafficked before her passing. Although the publicly available indictment, it's like this indictment is missing a lot of information that is out there. It's just not in the indictment. So the indictment summaries do not provide the supporting evidence of this or confirm the exact trafficking count, but it was noted by the district attorney. It was. So we got Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, Lord have mercy, publicly alleged that Nicole was being trafficked and financially exploited. I have not located the complete 80 count indictment myself. I try to look for it. So I cannot tell you tonight precisely which trafficking allegations were ultimately presented as separate counts or evidence supporting each one of those counts. So I don't know. So chat, which alleged motive appears the strongest to you? Think it's the sex trafficking, or do you think it's the money aspect part of it? I think it's a little bit of both. I think she was trying to gain control. She was trying to use and abuse her, get as much as she can get so she can do what she did and then live her life for the past, almost 20 years. That's how long this went on.
Be confirmed. The focus sharpened on the one person who had been closest to her. Angel Thompson. She was initially arrested on August 19, 2023, charged with concealing Nicole Alston's death. But investigators knew this was only the beginning. Nearly 2 years after that initial charge, the full, horrifying truth began to emerge. Angel Thompson was arrested again, this time in Sandy Springs, and charged with murder and 2 counts of identity theft. The arrest warrant laid bare the chilling details. Thompson was accused of killing Nicole Alston through homicidal violence by undetermined means, specifically causing violence to her throat or head.
Live at 5, a Metro Atlanta cold case cracked nearly 20 years later.
And now the victim's former roommate is being charged with murder. Atlanta News First reporter Adam Murphy is live tonight outside the Fulton County DA's office in downtown Atlanta. So Adam, why did this arrest take police so long to make?
Well, because of the conditions that were involved in this particular case. Let me explain why. Investigators said that they actually found Nicole Alston's body that was in a burning bag on the side of the road back in 2000.
Now, let me tell you guys what was inside that bag. Inside that bag, they found this poor woman's head, hands, and her feet were missing. Investigators later testified that the remains had been divided in 13 pieces. How evil do you have to be to do this type of damage? How evil? Think about it. She was chopped and screwed. So the missing head removed dental records. So they didn't have the dental records to run. So this is just explaining to us why this case took so long for them to figure this out. So there was no dental records, no facial recognition, and the possibility that a photograph of the victim would immediately generate identification. They couldn't do it. The missing feet may also have removed identifying features, surgical history, or forensic clues. Then the fire was used. Whoever carried out the disposal appeared to have created several layers between the victim and her name. She removed this person's identity altogether. No fingerprints, no teeth, no face, no nothing. Could not be identified. So on the 911 call, what we have publicly is a description of the dispatch, a report of a suspicious bag that appeared to be burning. I have not found any authenticated 911 records. I haven't found it myself. I was looking, or official transcripts released to the public. There's just none. So some online accounts mentioned multiple passing motorists, but until the audio, dispatch records, or police reports wasn't released. So it cannot be confirmed. You know, what time was the first report received? We don't know. How long had the bag been burning? We don't know. Was there an accelerator detected? We don't know. Were there fire tire tracks coming in and out? Were there footprints? We just don't know. And what store did the bag come from? You know, they could take a little piece of plastic off of a piece of bag or a piece of tape and narrow it down to the facility it was made, the lot number it was in. Where did the bag come from? What store was it bought at Home Depot? You know, I'm like, where? Kroger's, Publix? There's got to be something. There had to be something that they could have tied something together so this did not go on for decades. Decades, you guys. Let's keep going with this video.
Discovered that Thompson used Alston's identity after.
Hold on, let's pull it up over here. I'm a little stuffy tonight. Feel like I might be catching a little cold with the AC, and then it's hot, and then it's cold, and it's just like, oh Lord, make up your mind what you want to do with the weather.
The murder to receive nearly $140,000 in government benefits for 8 years.
Wow.
She didn't deserve this. And I wish I never let her come to Georgia.
Now, Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis said if there is any information regarding other women being victimized in traffic, they want to know about it here at the Fulton County Courthouse in the DA's office. And Willis said you can expect an indictment in this case by the end of October. Live in downtown Atlanta, Adam Murphy, Atlanta News First.
But what could drive such a brutal act? Investigators believe the motive was a terrifying cocktail of control and greed. Nicole Alston wanted to return to New York. A simple desire for many, but for Angel Thompson, it was a catastrophic problem. Thompson reportedly had outstanding warrants, making a move back to New York a dangerous proposition for her. But there was another, even more insidious motive. Thompson allegedly did not want to lose the financial support Nicole was receiving.
Exactly what I said. Exactly what I
Food
said.
Stamps and Section 8 housing. The warrant paints a chilling picture. Nicole Alston was allegedly murdered so Angel Thompson could assume her identity and continue to collect those government benefits.
I believe it.
For 8 years, after allegedly murdering
Exactly
her
what I said.
girlfriend, Angel
Exactly what
Thompson
I said.
reportedly lived as Nicole Alston, collecting between $140,000 and $200,000 in fraudulent gains. It was only in 2000.
That's not a lot. They said between 2007 and 2015, 8 years of fraud, $140,000. That don't sound too that don't sound too good, y'all.
2015, when contacted by the Social Security Administration for benefit requalification, that Thompson allegedly resumed using her original identity. A cold, calculated deception that lasted nearly a decade. Today, Angel Thompson is held without bond at the Fulton County Jail, awaiting trial. This case, with its layers of brutality and deception, has deeply impacted those involved in seeking justice.
Let me explain to you guys how this woman, how she remained alive on paper. Okay. But yet nobody knew where she was. So investigators allege that after Nicole's passing, Thompson began identifying herself as Nicole. Okay. And continued using Nicole's benefits for approximately 8 years. The alleged, okay, I don't know. I have never received benefits, but don't you got to go like down to like renew and go there with your license and all of this? And she was legally blind, so she couldn't get a license. So All this don't make sense to me. The alleged activity included SSI, food stamps, Section 8, her driver's license renewal. You know what? They did say that they saw Stevie Wonder driving one day, but I'm just saying. So this is part of the case that may have helped keep her murder hidden. Okay. So Nicole had passed, but on paper, Nicole was very much alive, you guys. She was alive and she was well. Investigators said that her food stamp benefit continued after the remains were found. How? Oh, because they couldn't identify who she was. Because she had no fingerprints. She had no feet, allegedly. So at the January 2026 hearing, detectives testified that records showed telephone communications in 2008 was someone identified in themselves as Nicole. And we know that Nicole had passed in 2007. Detectives also testified that Thompson went into Georgia's DMV and renewed Nicole's license. So all the evidence was on her head. I don't even know why they had to go to court and waste our good tax dollars money. Good. Why? Why do they do this? They know that our us taxpayers, taxes are high. Why keep doing this foolishness? If you're guilty, you're guilty. You don't have to go and get a jury and do all this mess and pay a judge and get the prosecutor all involved. They got to go around and search for the evidence. They got to get pathology reports, toxicology reports, forensic evidence. It just is. She's guilty, and we know she's guilty. Why do all of this? So when police searched for Nicole, the database did not necessarily show a woman who had vanished in 2006. They showed activity, benefits. So it appeared that she was alive and was just a missing person. A lot of confusion. She even had electrical services in her name. She had purchased a vehicle in her name. This is just so horrible on so many levels. Let's keep watching this guy's video, see what else he got. Oh,
Fulton
Fannie
County
Willis.
District Attorney Fannie Willis, a veteran of 29 years in law enforcement, described Nicole Alston's case as one of the most gruesome she had ever encountered. Her words underscore the profound horror of what happened to Nicole and the unwavering commitment to holding her alleged killer accountable.
Arrest of Angel Thompson. This is another cold case that will be prosecuted by this office. I want to allow most of my time to let you all ask questions. So much of what I'll do is just introduce people. First, I think that we should start with Mr. Clay Bryant. Clay Bryant.
You guys, can you hear her speaking? Because I'm noticing a lot of times on when I go back and try and edit so I can upload the video, these videos are very low and I do not know how to get them up higher. So give me a second. You know what? Let me go over here because I'm learning this thing. I really am learning how to run this system. I'm so excited. So maybe I just need to go up in here myself and turn it up. So I'm gonna play it and see which one it is.
He is with the Fulton County Sheriff's
Let's turn this up.
Department. It is because of his diligence and just really unwillingness to give up the fight for justice that brings us here today. But everybody needs a partner in life, and it seems as though he found one in Sandy Springs Police Department Detective John Nanoff, who has done an amazing job putting this together. And if you have been here with us for other cold cases, you know that Cheryl McCullum of the Hateville Police Department has been an integral part of this case. This case
we getting better over here.
What are just horrific
We are getting
facts.
better in the in this studio. We really are, you guys. We are leveling up. And we're getting great content out there. So please, you guys, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. You want to be the first in line. And I want to thank YouTube for over 20,000 subscribers. I want to thank all my other channels. Listen, we are new here. We're not even a year old. And we're doing our big one here. So be part of this family, you guys. All right, let's keep going. So I done turned up the video and I'm excited. I'm learning so much.
We know that we had a young lady move down here, like young people do, to start her life, Miss Nicole Alston, and that's a name that I want you to remember because that is the important name. She was 24 years old at the time of her death. When they found her body, it was cut. They found 13 pieces of her body, but they were not able to identify her. And the reason that they were not able to identify her is because until this day, we still have not been able to find her hands, her feet, or her head. And so there was no way to identify her. It is modern science and really the sheriff's department who decided many, many years ago to load up the DNA from this case into the system. Luckily for us, Miss Alston's sister tried to do ancestry, and that was the first time that we were able to identify this young.
I've done ancestry, so I'm in there. I had my kids do it. So I found a lot of family members, but I was a little sketchy about them. But I get people all the time saying, I'm your cousin. Like, okay. I don't reach back, but.
Lady. Once we identified her, we were able to find really a wonderful story and a trail of love. I have here today with me Miss Sylvia Alston. This is Miss Nicole Alston's mother. What you will find out that her and this detective have a lot in common, that once her daughter went missing, she returned to Georgia no less than half a dozen times to try to locate her and was helped by the Palmetto Police Department and other police departments, but was never able to locate her daughter. And unfortunately, now we know why. Her daughter was no longer with us. She was with God at that time. I do want you all, like I said, to have time to ask very specific questions.
So you guys, DNA did more than just produce an arrest lead in this case. DNA did its big one. It corrected 16 years of erasure use, you guys. Nicole was no longer an unidentified victim. We knew who she was now. She was a daughter. She was a sister. She was a woman whose family truly loved her. So I just have a question for the chat. How many unidentified victims could be sitting in evidence rooms right now while their families believe they simply disappeared? That's the crazy part about it. Families just think that they're gone. So Thompson was arrested August 19th, 2024. This happened in 2007. Initially on an allegation of concealing Nicole's passing. But at that stage, authorities had not yet publicly charged her with committing the actual murder. So in August 2025, Thompson was booked on these charges and to identity theft counts. So the arrest warrants allege that Nicole passed from homicidal violence. Thompson's defense sought dismissal. Can you guys believe that? They sought to dismiss the case that there was no, listen, this is baffling. So Detective John Nanoff testified about the condition of the remains and alleged identity-related activity, meaning no hands, no feet, no head, no ways to identify this young woman. So at a January 12, 2026 hearing, Thompson was denied bond on the murder allegations. Thank you, God. Renewal of Nicole's driver's license, you guys. She renewed her driver's license. She received her food stamps. She had cell phones in her name. She purchased a vehicle in her name. This lady should be buried under the prison. How do you... So a Fulton County grand jury returned an 80-count indictment. Thank you, God. for her malice murder. There was charges of felony murder, aggravated assault, concealing of a death, numerous fraud and identity theft charges as well. So WSB-TV also reported that the indictment included arson allegations. The case was then transferred to Fulton County because investigators said most of the alleged offenses occurred in Fulton County. So let's explain some of the charges that she faced. Malice murder. What does malice murder mean? The prosecution alleges an unlawful killing committed with malice or intent. I believe she planned this all out. Just my thoughts, allegedly. Okay, she was also charged with felony murder. What is that? The state alleged a death occurred during the commission of another qualifying felony. A conviction does not require the same proof of deliberate intent required for malice murder, but the underlying felony must be proven. So she did a crime within a crime, basically. And each of those crimes was felonies. She committed a felony within a felony that she was already committing. Aggravated assault. This may relate to the alleged violence that caused Nicole's passing, but the full indictment is needed to identify the precise theory. So it's aggravated, okay? Now, she was also charged with concealing of the death. This concerns alleged acts intended to hide Nicole's death or prevent its discovery. That's the removing of the head, the feet, the hands, all of that. She tried to conceal it. Also, the arson-related allegations, we know what that is. This was presumable concerning the burning of the bag. It remains in the bag, but the publicly available summaries do not provide the exact count wording. So we don't. There could have been more than what was stated in that indictment. Again, so the identity theft, we already know. They have proof that she took her personal information, she stole her benefits, her identification, she purchased a vehicle, she took out loans, housings, and account. That's the identity theft and fraud. So a report published in April 2026 said that Georgia court records did not yet show that Thompson had entered a plea. But I found no reliable public reportings confirming a plea, a trial date, or final disposition as of July 28th, 2026. So I haven't found anything, you guys. So I'm not going to say something that I did not see myself or that I do not feel is right or correct. Okay. We got a little bit more with this guy right here. I'm going to just go here to her mother speaks after Fannie Mae, however you want to pronounce her name.
October, bringing us closer to the full legal reckoning.
Just if we could hear from you, your reaction to receiving this news and any words you might have to say for those who might still be out there who could possibly come forward and help with the case.
Good morning. Ask a question. I never stopped looking for her. Not receiving a call at Christmas or New Year's or birthday. It resonates because that wasn't Nicole. But she was grown, and you don't always need your rich mama. So I didn't think of it much. But she didn't deserve this. And I wish I never let her come to Georgia. Ask a question because I'm not going to hold it well with regular stuff.
Just for those who never had a chance to meet her, for those who never know her.
Nicole was bubbly. She had a smile that was infectious. Yeah, Beyonce, her favorite cartoon character was Tweety. She would make these
draw the pretty pictures?
Yes, she was an artist. Nicole had some learning.
We do know that Nicole was adopted, so this has to be her adopted mother. But she does have a sister, which is the young lady in the back that's feeding the mom the information. You know, I don't know if it's mom's nerves, but she's not remembering too much of who Nicole was. But her sister in the back knows her.
Disabilities that I say to her artisticness, which possibly led to her being victimized in this way. She kind of depended on people for help. She had dyslexia, and so her needing people that she trusted would have been paramount. So her coming to Georgia was brought on by this person, as I was told when she left, as her helpmate, like, oh, I'm gonna be all right. She's gonna help me. I'm gonna be okay.
She's a sweet girl. She's trying to make bad for us.
And she was the life of the party. Like, she was happy. And through all her trials and struggles, she always made everything seem okay. She was always the one people call on to talk to. And she didn't see life as gray as others, but I just haven't seen her in so long. Thank you. Thank you.
Nicole Alston's mother, heartbroken, expressed her regret, wishing she had never let her daughter come to Georgia. A mother's pain, a daughter's life brutally stolen, and a long, arduous journey for truth. But now, after years in the shadows, Nicole Alston's story is finally being told, and justice is within reach.
This case was horrific, you guys. But I picked these cases that don't get much news. It's not out there because these victims need to be remembered, you guys. They need to be remembered, and they're being forgotten. They're being forgotten by cases like the Nolan Wells case. It's overshadowing so many things, you know, and so many victims out here. So on this channel, you're going to hear those cases that did not make it to the news, the status where it should have been. So tonight we talked about more than just a cold case, you guys. We talked about a young woman who left home believing she was beginning a new life. We talked about families that continued living without answers. We talked about an unidentified victim whose name was separated from her body for more than 16 years. With this technology, they couldn't figure her out. And we talked about an allegation that even Nicole, after her passing, her identity, her benefits were stolen, the proof that she existed were taken from her. But thank God for DNA. DNA finally gave her back her name, you guys. Now the court system must determine whether prosecutors can prove who took her life. Now we know we have Angel Marie Thompson. She had been charged with serious crimes, but she remains presumed innocent. Can you believe this? Can you believe this crap? Until she's convicted. Now we got to still pay for her. For the prosecution, the state evidence, the forensics, the toxicology, just everything. We got to pay for everything when we know that she did it. You guys, so to Nicole's family, your daughter mattered. Her life was more than just the way her remains were found. Her name is Nicole Alston, and tonight we say her name. Her name is Nicole Alston. You guys, please like this live, share it, and subscribe to the Viral Crimes with Jocelyn family. Leave your thoughts respectfully in the comments. but do not contact or harass anybody involved in this story. This is just for awareness and education. Hopefully we can keep our eyes open and pray also that God gives you the discernment to see when these type of things are happening around you. Because at the end of the day, we are our brother's keepers. So until next time, stay aware, protect one another, and pay attention when someone tells you that they are trying to leave a dangerous relationship, you guys. So as you know, if you watch my lives, I'd like to end this with a prayer. Father God, we come to you tonight asking you to surround Nicole Alston's family with comfort and strength and peace. We pray that every hidden truth in this case is brought to light, Father God. We ask that you place a hedge of protection around her family. We ask that you place peace and comfort in the heart of her mother, the heart of her sister, your Lord. We also ask that you continue to work through the viral crimes with Jocelyn family. I want to bless and ask you to bless everyone that was on this live today. And I just say, Lord, protect our community and make sure everyone lives in peace and happiness within your word. In the name of Jesus, we pray. I always like to end with a prayer because God can handle everything. Do not pray and worry, you guys, and do not worry and pray. That's what I tell my children all the time. Put it in God's hands and he will work it out. So thank you guys again for joining. Thank you, Tamaka57. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining. I am now, like I said, I'm everywhere and I'm working out the glitches and because I'm multi-streaming to so many platforms, every now and then I get a glitch, but that's okay. I keep pushing. You don't even see when I get these glitches. So thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you guys. Who else we have here? And I'm going back. I have multiple things because this is a lot, so I got to get to bed so I can get ready for work in the morning. So you guys be blessed and thank you guys.